Hi, and welcome to Melissa's Mile High Kitchen. I am so happy that you're here today. So here's what I have on tap for you today. We are going to be making this classic beef family chili. Everybody will like it. You can pick up the spice, you can bring the spice down if you want to. And then a gluten-free cornbread. I know you go to the stores, you go to the restaurants, and you ask for cornbread, and it always has flour in it. Not here. There's no wheat flour here. We have gluten-free cornbread. So it's a whole meal the whole family will love. And I'm so thrilled to be in this gorgeous decor kitchen. It is a beautiful kitchen. It is easy. It is smarter than I am. It tells me things like, hey, Melissa, you left the door open. I'm like, oh, I sure did. So we're gonna be cooking here, and we are at the Mountain High Appliance Showroom in Littleton, Colorado, where they have all of these different kitchens here. Decor is just one of them, and the kitchens are working. You can come in and turn on different appliances and kind of get a touch and feel of how it is for you. But all right, let's get going in our decor kitchen, making this classic beef chili. First off, I'm gonna go get the beef right now in my beautiful decor refrigerator. Here we go. All right, 2 pounds of beef. 2 pounds of beef, that is what I've got. And I have to say thank you. I love it when I can shop locally. I love just local farmers, local ranchers. And so this beef, thank you so much to Lawson Family Ranch. They are in Southern Colorado. They are a proud Colorado beef family, and they have been doing it, I forget how many generations, like 5 or 6 family generations. It's incredible. So, all right, so 2 pounds of ground beef. Lean ground beef. The other thing is you can always do ground turkey too. And so we've got that in the pan. We're on about a medium high heat right now because the whole goal is that we are going to be browning the beef. All right, so the beef is in here. I love it. It's grass-fed, all natural, good family people. I mean, just awesome. All right, so that's gonna start browning. So the next thing we're gonna do is get onions and peppers ready. So you're gonna need 1 large white onion. Okay, I've already halved it for you right here. And then you have 1 yellow pepper and 1 red pepper. Because a lot of people have tips and tricks about how do you cut peppers, how do you cut onions. And so the first thing I did, okay, here we go, cut it in half. Now we wanna get rid of this stuff. You guys, and if you know this, you can just be like, yeah, I know that, Melissa. Okay, that's fine. So here's what we're doing. We're pulling that out, shaking the seeds out. And I always, when I cook, everybody's different. I usually have a scrap bowl for stuff like this. Some people call it a crap bowl, whatever you want to call it. But we are just rinse the seeds out of there. Oh, you can hear that beef starting to sizzle. That is going to be awesome. So the goal, if my timing is right, is to get this all cut up and then the onions. All right, let's start with the peppers first. All right, so what we're gonna do is just kind of, the key anytime you're cooking and you're sauteing is to try and get what you're cutting around the same size, that way it cooks evenly, all right? So here's my 1 yellow pepper. It is going in. And when I drain the fat, and you'll see it, yeah, the vegetables are in there, but not a big deal. I don't put the spices in though until after I drain everything. That's kind of my tip, because if you put the spices in and then you drain it, you'll see it's like, oh, there they go, right down the sink. All right, so because I have cut myself so many times, like you always wonder about those people, like who ends up in the ER on Thanksgiving Day? Right here, I did, because it might have been the mimosa, but I'm just gonna blame the fact that I was in the kitchen cooking and not paying attention, probably watching the parade, and whoopsie, yeah, ended up in the ER having to get stitches. So you know what? Number 1, pay attention. Number 2, as you're cutting, kind of curl your fingers under. You'll see people, especially people that are chefs. I'm just cooking in my kitchen, but you'll see the chefs and they always have their fingers like this so that happens, because you don't want the other to happen. Makes me even nervous doing it. All right, so we're throwing peppers in here. Once again, it's 1 yellow, it's 1 red. So the trick that I learned from somebody somewhere about cutting an onion, so I've cut the onion in half, and I left a little bit of that paper skin on, and here's why. I like to hold on to it. So when I cut my onion, here's how I do it. you may have a way that works better for you. This is for dicing. Is I'm making all these little cuts and I'm going up, as you can see. Try and show you a little bit better here. So here's kind of where the onion comes together there. So I have all those little cuts. That little in part I don't want. And then when you dice it, there you go. And then throw that away. Dump that on in right here. All right, all of this is now going to saute together. All right, so you can see it's coming together. We're just going to let all of this kind of cook down together. You've got the 2 pounds of beef, the peppers, the color is fantastic. I am going to turn it up just a little bit, kind of go more medium high. All right, we're going to let that cook here for just a minute. All right, so this is still sauteing, looking good. Just break up the ground beef into smaller pieces. I mean, I like big chunks too, but it's always better if you can have a little bit smaller. Stir it up. You want to make sure. And I did not put any oil in here because the beef already has some natural fat and oil in it. I don't add any oil to this. I just have never felt like with beef I need to. If you are using turkey, I will tell you this, add a little oil. Turkey does not have enough fat to it. All right, and if you see me looking down, I've showed you guys this before, but this is my hot pink notepad. This is where I keep all my recipes. I know there's ways that you can go to my website, by the way, melissamoremedia.com, and I've got them there for you. But for me in the kitchen, I have this, or I'll print them from my own website and put them right here. We'll get the garlic just kind of ready to go before we move on to the cornbread. All right, squish it, squish it. So you guys have seen me use this little thing before, but here's the other thing you can do. You can chop it really fine. Either one works. You know me, if there's an easy way to do it, I'm gonna do it, which is kind of why I always call this my rock and roll garlic cutter. I'm like, rock and roll. My daughter, when she was little, I'd have her in the kitchen. And we also have a rock and roll pizza cutter. And it was, I don't know what it is. Probably because I always have songs going on in my head. If you know me, you know, like the earworm, I will always have something going. My alarm this morning woke me up, funniest darn thing, to Hall & Oates' Sarah Smiles. Yes, so I've had Hall & Oates in my head all day today. All right, garlic's ready for when we get this ready. We're just gonna set all of that over there. All right, so now we've got to get to the gluten-free and it's dairy-free cornbread. I know it's a lot of times you'll go out somewhere and you want to order cornbread, but it's not gluten-free. So I'm gonna teach you here how to make gluten-free and dairy-free cornbread. All right, so the first thing, and this is kind of the base, is the Bob's Red Mill gluten-free 1-to-1 flour. So I've got 1 1/4 cups in here right now. So 1 1/4 cups. And then what we're gonna do, this is your base. So this is where when you go to a restaurant and they have cornbread and they're like, sorry, it's not gluten-free. It's because this base, the flour, isn't gluten-free. So to that 1 1/4 cups of Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free flour, I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal. You're just dumping it right in there, all right? You want a little sweet with your cornbread. So the next thing I'm adding in is the sugar. Yeah, 1/4 cup of sugar, by the way, is what we're adding in there. Then you need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, make sure you've got the baking powder. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You've got all that. Now we want to whisk all the dry ingredients together. So all the dry ingredients, get them really mixed well. After this, we're going to be moving to the wooden spoon, which is where we're going to start mixing everything up. So we got to get our liquids in there. So I've got 1 cup of unsweetened plain almond milk. This is how we keep it dairy-free too. So 1 cup of unsweetened plain almond milk is in here with 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I've got avocado oil in here, but you can use whatever vegetable oil you want. All right, so you're going to put that in there. Those are combined. And then you need 2 egg whites, or I buy the egg whites in the carton just because it's so much easier than trying to separate the egg whites. And it's also a little more consistent for measuring. So I've got 1/3 of a cup of egg whites. So all of this, stir it up. And this is your gluten-free cornbread. This is how easy it is. And you can see the bubbles in it. That is your baking powder reacting to everything in there. And I want you to see what the consistency looks like here, so you know, hey, this is what it should look like. Because if you're like, huh, it looks like paste, well then you forgot something, and I have done that too. So if it doesn't look like this, okay, then you probably forgot something, you measured wrong, you know, you were having a cocktail and you were like, daggone it, what did I put in there? Not that I've ever done that. I've heard that it is really easy to lose track of ingredients when you got a cocktail going. All right, here we go. So we've now got gluten-free, dairy-free cornbread ready to go. Let's get this pan. It's a cake pan. I like, when I do my cornbread, cutting it into like little squares, like a little round cake. That's how I like doing it. All right, so here's what your cornbread should look like as it's going in. Okay. And it really does look like cake batter. If you've made a lot of cakes, you know. This is the consistency we're looking for right here. Okay? All right, so the oven, if you haven't preheated it yet, preheat your oven. It should be 400 degrees. This is gonna go in for 25 minutes. I love the fact that my Decor oven over here, I preheated it already to 400, and it just holds the temperature beautifully, and it's waiting for me. So here we go. Love the Decor. All right, just slid the cornbread in. I've got 25 minutes on my timer ready to go. Look at that. It's all ready for me. We have got the beef in here cooking. The vegetables have been softening. And that's always the thing when you're making chili. And I added the 2 kinds of peppers in here. A little nutrition, a little color. I like it when my food just looks healthy. And to me, more color makes it look healthy. So that's one of the reasons I like the red and the yellow pepper in here. So we're almost there. I mean, you can tell I've kind of been smashing the beef into smaller pieces. But I also know, I know me, when I'm having a bowl of chili and I get like that big piece of beef, like that's my absolute favorite. All right. It's funny. So here we are, we're at the Mountain High Appliance showroom in Littleton, and the doors just open. And so people are starting to come in now. And I'm seeing people like, what, is that chili? Do we smell chili? I'm like, that's right. The first thing I wanna do is get in my spices, then I'll get the beans and everything else. So I have 4 teaspoons of ancho chili powder. Now I'm telling you what mine is, just in case you're like, oh, that looks a little different. You can also use just a straight chili powder. This has a little more smoky taste to it, but that's just my preference, and that's what I had at home, so that's what we're doing. All right, so the next thing I've got here is cumin. All right, once again, just kind of adding that in there. Then we're gonna do some sweet paprika. You can also do a smoked paprika. This is 2 teaspoons, I'm sorry, of sweet paprika, teaspoons. You do tablespoons, let me know, because that's gonna be a lot. And then we're adding oregano, 3/4 of a teaspoon of oregano, 2 teaspoons of just salt, regular old salt, nothing fancy there. Let's get these spices stirred in, all right? And I like to really get these mixed in with the beef. And you can kind of see almost like a gravy it's making at the bottom here. Yeah, that's just good stuff. That's all it is. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 different cans of beans. First one is the black beans. And I did not rinse the beans, but what I did was drain them, okay? So you don't wanna rinse your beans, but you do wanna drain them. All right, the second is a can of pinto beans. So you've got 1 black, 1 pinto. If you're somebody that's like, man, I want more beans, throw another can of beans in there. If you want less beans, throw less in there. All right, can of Rotel. Got it. And now 15 ounces of tomato sauce. All right, so all of that is good. All of that is delicious. Let's get that mixed in, and then I'll show you our next stuff. So as you can see, this is super thick. It's really needing a little more liquid, but look at that color. And once again, someday you're gonna be able to smell how amazing this is. Garlic. I knew I forgot something. Yep, now it's in there. Right, so now what we wanna do is we wanna add a little more, I'm gonna call it stock, to what we're putting in chili. And it's funny because some people are like, you're adding what? Here's what I'm adding in here. It is 1.5 cups of beef broth. Okay, so you got your beef broth in there. And then I've got 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. So here's the great thing about maple syrup, or really any kind of sugar, when you're doing a tomato-based stew, chili, whatever, it helps cut that acidity of the tomatoes. So if you're somebody that tends to be a little sensitive, throw a little sugar in there. It really does, it does wonders, all right? So you can already tell this is looking awesome. And then here's the final ingredient that I haven't even wanted to say, all right? It's 2 tablespoons, and I don't know, I always say Worcestershire, and I don't think that's right. And somebody said it's Worcestershire. I don't know what it is, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's what's going in now. I almost didn't want to make this today because I'm like, oh, I gotta say that word. Chili's ready. We can get the cornbread out, have some chili, and just have a great lunch, all right? Oh, that is so perfect. All right, yummy, yummy. All right, look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. All right, so gluten-free, dairy-free cornbread. It is perfect. You got the little cracks on top, little golden brown around the edges. I will slice it in the middle, shove butter in the middle, or dairy-free butter, put butter on top. Like, I feel like you can't have too much butter, but that's just me. So dairy-free butter, I use it all the time. I love it. Chili's ready to go. And it smells so good. You can smell the peppers. You can really smell the chili spice and the cumin and all of that coming together. Oh my gosh, so yummy. Thank you so much to our friends at Mountain High Appliance. We are at their beautiful showroom here in Littleton, Colorado. It has been so great working in this decor kitchen. I am a huge fan of decor. It's just easy, and I love the convection stovetop here. The oven was tremendous. It's got the microwave on the top, so it really is cool. So I'm absolutely loving it, all right? It's a little hot. You can probably see the steam coming off. Seriously, once again, I'm gonna learn how to do TV bites, you know, where you're like, oh, that was so delicious. No, I just shovel it all in. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's good. It's moist, it's not dry. Oh yeah. That's how your cornbread should look. Anyway, the chili recipe, the gluten-free and dairy-free cornbread recipe, those are gonna all be up. All you have to do is go to Melissa's Mile High Kitchen on YouTube. You can also go to melissamoremedia.com. I'll have the recipes there as well. But thank you to our friends at Mountain High Appliance. Thank you to our friends too at Lawson Ranch in Southern Colorado for the beef today. I mean, I'm telling you, good beef makes such a big difference, and I love supporting our local farmers and ranchers. So thank you to them too. Grab the butter, get some cornbread, have a great day.